Trading cards is the #1 way of moving your Sorare club on, actually progressing in the game, getting better quality of cards than you could otherwise afford, or actually bringing those cards into your club that are part of your roadmap on your road to glory or your journey on Sorare, the guys that you actually really support, whether they play for the club you support or just football players you really like. And with this hurricane that has been the 23-24 summer transfer window, there has been so much volatility in the market based around rumours and standings in different teams, along with injuries as well, that there's been opportunities galore all over the place. And I've been back in the market making some good deals happen to make my club stronger ahead of, the rest of Champion Europe coming back on. We've got the Bundesliga, we've got Serie A coming back on this game week. And obviously the last game week we had everything else on. So it is battle stations, all hands on deck. We are ready to go. And I've pulled in some more pieces. And some of the trades that I've done, I thought these are great examples to put on a video because it's a real great example of a few of the tenets of trading cards on Sorare that I think are maybe overlooked sometimes or maybe underpresented, let's say. If you are new to Sorare and you haven't even opened your account yet, there's a link in the description of this video, also be in the pinned comment. It will get you a free limited card once you've bought 5 from the market. It's the best way to sign up. It's the way everyone signs up. If you start playing Sorare and you don't get a free limited card once you've bought 5 any cards from the market, then you're 1 card behind everyone else, basically. By doing that, you support myself and the channel and all the content here, so I thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck or if you need any help or if you've got any questions, just jump into the comment section and I'll come and sort you out. And we are pushing for 10,000 subscribers on the channel. We cannot do that without your support, guys. If you do enjoy the content, please do smash the subscribe button for more stuff like this, hit the like button and jump into the comment section. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, the first thing I want to highlight isn't actually me, but it's actually a giveaway winner. Now, last week we did the biggest giveaway ever on the channel. I gave away a super rare Yangel Herrera that I won in game week 250 when me, Hendo, John Nellis, Alex Emery, we went to Valencia, we went to Elche, and I won that card myself on the leaderboard. And it was a fantastic weekend and a really special card to me. I gave that card away thanks to community member Josh Forth, basically donating me a Girona equivalent and, a nice kind of friendly exchange we had. He said, Quinny, I will give you this card for nothing if you give yours away. And we done that, and we had a competition winner on the Sorare deadline stream last Friday. There's quite often giveaways on the deadline stream every Friday, 1 o'clock on the channel here. Obviously, there'll be one this week as well. And the winner of the Yangel Herrera super rare card was a guy that had 2 cards, one that he bought a year ago and one that he bought a couple of months ago. So a real small budget player with only a couple of limiteds. Didn't have much honours going to his name, but he has already moved the Yangel Herrera on. He's actually sold it in the market. He's done some trading himself, and he's went out and got himself a pretty good deal by my books. Now, in the first game week back of the La Liga season, Yangel Herrera started in midfield and he outscored Aliesh Garcia, who is one of these SO5 cheat codes we've seen last season. So he moved on the market quite swiftly. He dropped a 54-pointer in a tight game against Real Sociedad, and Girona are definitely not fancied in that kind of affair. And he sold it, but he didn't just sell it and get some Ethereum or get some currency into his back pocket, but he basically got himself, so there's the reward going away to him. And then he actually got himself like a bit of a team. He already had a couple of cards. This guy not only gave him a nice chunk of ETH for the super rare, but also a Gusung Young, a Rodri, who's an under 23 card that we've seen in the Euros last season. You beg my pardon, in the summer. For Spain, be really promising and could play more for Betis as a sub player. Nacho is a sub player as well. And I don't know this is Techia guy. But all the same, he's managed to get himself some cards and some money. And he's now starting to build his own little club and get himself going. He's up to 9 cards. With that money, he's went out and got a bit of a Chelsea contingent here with Sanchez and Silva. Then he's got Tonali and Almiron in Newcastle midfield. And then I think this is the guy, Valentin. Yeah, it's the guy he bought around the giveaway time, I think. And then he had this Fujiharu from a year ago that he spent 80 cents on, which is fantastic, isn't it? So he's got a little club up and running now. And yeah, we wish him all the best of luck, which was fantastic. But for myself, it was a real story of holding. And me and McBride were talking about this on his YouTube channel recently, I'm sure it was. Me, him, and Hendo got together for, just a get together. We like to do that every so often. We normally do it on my channel, but McBride's got a channel going, and we thought, let's do it over there. So if you haven't checked that out, at McBride Ace on YouTube, you can't miss him. But not that many people really hold a card for a long term. And I'm a big believer in, particularly when you're playing Sorare, you'll be watching your own cards and you'll be paying attention to the players that you're playing in fantasy teams. But when you're doing that, there's also another 20 odd players on the pitch, and You need to have yourself open to allowing your eye to be caught by somebody else, and then maybe that's a player, a card you can pick up that's undervalued, underappreciated, or maybe just in a terrible situation that maybe later on might become quite good. And as you guys will know, I've been a huge fan on this channel of the rise of a couple of players. I don't know which one to start with. Let's start with Ryo Hatate, right? Ryo Hatate has been a player that I've had since the J-League came on Sorare. I bought him as an under-23 forward card at the dominant team. Didn't know much about him. He got some scores. He was very handy for me. And yeah, I managed to sell him on actually for a good bit of profit, and I had good fun with him. But as you guys will know how the story will pan out, he goes to Celtic. We bring him back in. I get a bunch of Hatate cards here, there, and everywhere. And we're at this point now where Hatate is a card that I love and admire so much that I've got like 5 copies of him across limited, rare, and super rare. And it's a bit time where it's like, well, he hasn't started the first 2 games of the season under the manager. I do have 5 copies of the card. Can I somehow de-risk myself out of that position? Well, using this Hatate situation, he's at a really good high point in the market to get me something else that's maybe underappreciated, something that's a little bit beat up around the edges, maybe had former glory that's not quite been there, and maybe chemistry-wise, coherency-wise, fixture-wise, whatever the word is, it's escaping me again, I'm sorry guys, could be maybe in La Liga, if not at least champion Euro. And we went to the man that is Pavel Trades, and we managed to pull off a trade in itself for one of my Ryo Hatate cards. Now you might be thinking, Quinny, what Ryo Hatate card could you have swapped Pavel for? It wouldn't be the limited champion edition card, it probably wouldn't be the rare forward. So it must be one of those super rares. Now, I'm never going to be trading away the one in the hoops anytime soon, in my opinion, because the hoops cards are in, they're locked. So it has to be the only one that I'm going to part with. It's going to be the Kawasaki super rare forward cards. Now, the forward card is very good in the game because it doesn't suffer the clean sheet kind of problem. And when Hatate is on it, the forward card is get great uplift and score. You know, it's very similar to the defender card itself. And we managed to do a trade, and we brought in Mikel Oyarzabal, thanks to Pavel Trades. So we have now brought in a La Liga forward that I'm a big fan of. Now, his current like kind of standing auction wise, 0.6 was the last one, but previous to that, Oyarzabal has been a very expensive card in the market, one that is far beyond my reach when he is in his pomp. Now, he's not been in great form like recently enough, but he does play for Spain. He's a Spain international. Sociedad are in the Champions League this year. He is a #1 starter, but he is back, just became back from a really bad injury, like a terrible injury. But before that, he was top levels champion Euro forward. You know, like his form wasn't fantastic. So will he recapture this form? I'm not too sure. Can he? Definitely. You know, even some of these punchy ones where he's either 40 or 80, that's not really too bad of a place to be in either, especially for a super rare card, especially as well considering one of the FC Barcelona Hall of Fame cards that we've got, Brais Mendes, plays for Real Sociedad. So having that lock-up, that synergy, is an absolutely beautiful move that really makes a big difference, I think, to my entries and my overall kind of utility options for not only Brais Mendes, but the super rare forward category in a number of different divisions. So a great trade. I'm sorry to see Rio go, but that card was really prolific. It won me a lot of cards, and it goes out the club with its head held high. And I think with Oyarzabal, we've picked up a card that, you know, really, like, when he is fit and firing, there's no way I would be able to bring this guy in. Now, like I said, the point of this video is holding, right? Now, I actually got this Ryo Hatate from Pavel, which is somewhat, I don't know if that's a circle of life or something like that, but there you go. But I had it for almost 2 years, which is phenomenal. And when you look at the scores it was pulling in and some of the, you know, he's went for way more market value than what I've parted them for. But holding through that, you know, it takes some nerve in some good ways. Obviously, there's some utility coming, but there's some dark times where the scores aren't as good, and then maybe you're kicking yourself. But I held this card for 2 years to get into a great position where the XP was off the charts, full, ready to rock, and it done itself. Very proud in my club, and 2-year hold on that. Let's see how long we keep Oyarzabal for. Now, another young player that we've really enjoyed watching the rise of on this channel over the last year or so has been Felix Nemeka. Now, I picked him up as an under-23 backup mid at Wolfsburg after watching Wolfsburg because I had Max Arnold exposure, I had Lucas Nemeka exposure, and I'm always interested in a few of those Wolfsburg players that were knocking around at the time. And Felix was just coming off the bench, and he just honestly, like, he was He looked like a man playing with boys. He was just bigger than everyone else. He was bombastic. He was going everywhere. And he was always decisive, dangerous. You know, he was always either actually coming off the bench and getting a decisive, or if not, being very unlucky down to like offside decisions, or maybe the quality of finish, or, you know, different things that happened. And I thought, wow, this guy at £70 for the rare. I just thought, this is too undervalued. One day he's going to move down from that Wolfsburg level, maybe go to Holland or Belgium, and that man versus boys presence, he's going to bring that to the pitch, and I think he's going to be a great under-23 mid. But what ended up happening after this time of kind of breaking through into the team in that period I just described, there's a wee bit of injury and then kind of back in and off the bench or whatever. But then after that period there, he went on an absolute tear for the back end of last season. He started all the games, 62, 53, 66. You can see that run there at the back end of the season. He was scoring goals. He was doing everything for Wolfsburg, and he was a real engine in midfield. So much so that he earned a mega money move to Borussia Dortmund to kind of maybe, along with Marcel Sabitzer, try and do the job of replacing Jude Bellingham. Now, that's where the problem comes for me, is the along with Marcel Sabitzer. Now, he's under 23 mid. He's been trading for a lot of money recently because he's at Borussia Dortmund. He has a decisive AA. He's an AA junkie, and he's a multi-decisive capable midfielder. Under 23, he ticks all the boxes for me, but I just don't know, with Sabitzer being there, how often he's going to start. So again, I'm looking at that market value and I'm thinking, how can I make sure the club makes the best use of this? Now, we held Felix Nemeka for 11 months. We picked him up for 70 quid before trading him to Pavel. Again, now one of my goals for this year, Felix Nemeka, part of the reason I also picked him up, he's a CFG, you know, he's part of the City Football Group network. He was a Man City under 23 kid, went to Germany, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. But Man City are actually now on the platform, and I need to get myself some Man City cards right now. There's a few Man City cards that you guys will know I'm big fans of anyway, and I've been trying to get my hands on through some auctions and some trades anyway since I've been on the platform. Phil Foden is one, João Cancelo is another, and the third one that we've managed to actually bring in now, I was close to going in, but then there was a wee bit of funny rumours I wasn't too sure if I was on board with or not, but he's on for signing a contract extension. De Bruyne is injured, and I know, you know, we'll have a look at him, but it is the one, the only. It's Bernie Silva, or as you might call him, Bernardo Silva. We've brought him in exchange for Felix Nemeka. Now, this trade's actually been quite nice because Bernardo Silva does trade for a little bit more than Felix. He's on really peaky form at the moment for Portugal and for City, but he is a real cat mode player overall. It really does. He's much more, like, he plays all the time, but sometimes from the bench. He does have those real good runs where he can be invincible almost, but, you know, overall he's not something I can get too excited about, but this is treble winner Bernardo Silva. We've got him into the club. Sadly, it's not a first owner. Sadly, there's nothing special or cool about it, but it's the first one I've been able to bring in because spending the sort of money that you need to spend to get a Bernardo Silva isn't really in my budget house at the moment, but as you can see, he's in and around the same wheelhouse there as Felix Nemeka. So for somebody that's probably not going to play that often for Borussia Dortmund versus someone that's going to play all the time for Man City and maybe sometimes pops, but never really, well, I'm sure sometimes he is going to kill me, but he's not, especially with the way the squad is this season. Maybe some of these lower substitute scores, maybe some of them disappear, but he's ever present, you know, he's basically always playing. So I think that's a really good move. But Pavel requires a premium. You know, you need to grease his wheels to do a deal with him. And he had actually something else that we wanted to pick up. We managed to get a jersey swap on the Richie Ledesma. He finally has an NYC mint. So I seen that Pavel had one, and I managed to get an NYC jersey Ledesma in, and we greased the wheels with giving him the Gabriel Goodmanson, which trades for about 20 quid or so the now, which we won as a reward a week or two ago, I think, and the Eric Sviatchenko. That again we picked up and we held for a little while. His price is actually on a bit of a down, which is unfortunate. It's just because MLS isn't playing, but I'm sure once he's got a game or two, this trade maybe moves more into Pavel's favour quite quickly. But it's not often Pavel gets a Bernardo Silva. It's not often someone has a Bernardo Silva that would do a deal like this with me and allow me to acquire him. So it's one of those ones where opportunity presents itself and it comes in. So I think between Oyarzabal as that super rare forward and Bernardo Silva coming in as that rare mid. And if you didn't miss, I did a video last week about cash wallet situation and the problem I had. At the back end of that video, there's a trading segment in it, so I'll let you go and check that out. But we've also brought in, you know, some other cards, so we're doing quite handy at the moment. We've brought in Stephen Welsh as well. I've swept the floor on him, and we managed to get a season swap so I can make use of my collection bonus that I've got for my Champion Edition cards, which was lovely. But I managed to pick up the Welsh for like floor price, like nothing, like 30 quid or something. It looks like Carter Vickers' scans weren't good, so Welsh is probably going to start for the next couple of weeks. And what did I pick this up for? 47 quid. But yeah, I don't think any are listed at the moment. And as an under 23 defender, Welshie boy's a good one to get locked in. So we've got him in. We've got him in with a collection bonus as well, which is cool. And we've got Ayator Ruibal, who we won as a reward. So there's a few more options. And guys, we have got like 8, 9 competitive teams going out this game week. I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I'll be doing a live stream of the lineup builder, and I'll be using the AI that's on Sorare data to help me, maybe guide me, because I'll be doing something a little bit different this game week. I'm not going to be playing any pro divisions. I'm going to be going with my 3 super rare keepers and playing all blue, and then with my like half a dozen rare keepers playing all red. So join me for that Thursday night, and also join me and Harry on Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. Everything's booked on the channel. If you just go to the channel homepage, you can see it all. You can click on the stream and hit a little notification bell. So even if you forget, you'll get a wee buzz on your YouTube page saying, oh, this is live, by the way. And yeah, if I don't see you, good luck this game week. On screen there now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.